Well, hello everyone. It's like I'm Matt is talking about with Matthew Mathphone here. It's like talking about it's like part two. Is that talking about with phones right here? Most of us are familiar with you say it's like maybe a different phone brands, and then you have right here is a phone that of course it don't work anymore. But it's talking about with with phones. If most of us would buy the phone and knowing about the fact about it's like trying to get it activated. Of course, I remember whenever I was trying to get this activated, and of course that I remember that I had somebody there at the store that I remember that it's either a phone store, electronic store where you buy it from. That a lot of times that they would go through the trouble. It's like you say the troubleshooting trouble about getting it activated. Of course, going on the tech support stuff like that. But on the other hand too, that knowing about is like with the phones is knowing about that have like you dial the number and then like ding 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 ding. But it kind of reminds me of one of those toy phones. The toy phones I remember it cost me about maybe about $10. And just push a button right here. It goes But other than that, it's talking about that I'm sure that we would probably think about whenever you go to the store, you would think that if anything, if the phone, if you were to take it out of the box, the package, whatever it is, and knowing about the phone would probably need to do a sound other than But other than that, it's talking about with the phones. It's knowing about like if you got it on a speaker, if you'd like to make a call, please leave a message. If you'd like to make a call, please hang up or hang up. Other than that, it's talk about if I would like to hang up. But other than that, if we were to do the math, of course, it's knowing about how much we pay, of course, on the telephone bill it is, and then knowing about do the math about knowing about it's like you're between it's like with the speakerphone, all those other features that you more likely have to have call waiting, caller ID, stuff like that. Is talk about with that Magic Jack, of course. But of course, it's like make kind of a silly thought about it. Of course, each time I would go to shopping, it isn't knowing about if I were to buy what you call is like a webcam. It is, and that a lot of people probably think about is like with the webcam is knowing about that. Really is knowing about that. What is a plug-in? As soon as you take it out of the box, you have to worry about is like knowing about the plug-in, But the other than that, you have right here is the plug-in, right? You got the plug-in, but you got the plug-in right here and knowing about with the webcam. With the webcam is knowing about, am I supposed to make phone calls with this? Or am I supposed to make phone calls with that? But other than that, with the webcam here. With the webcam is knowing about you hit the controls is that there ain't no buttons on this thing, huh? But but other than that, it's talking about it's like the stuff that normally that you probably thinking about. You don't even have to put coins into it. It's like knowing about the different phone accessories, of course, that I've had and bought and over the years it is. And no one's like, and have your arm wrestling with it. Like, come on, you better work, man. It's like knowing about, you better work, or otherwise not, I'm gonna call the operator. You better work, man. You need to make a deposit or something like that. You need to make a deposit. If you'd like to make a call, please press 5, otherwise hang up. Otherwise, you think you're calling like the operator. But other than that, it's talking about if you were to have any other type of phones, it could be Skype or whatever you call it, you could probably think about that, it's more than just what you call a touch of a button. But other than that more likely you could probably think about is that with most phones it is that you gotta go through the possibility of reading the instructions, of course creating an online account it is. And some people would probably think about that, they know for sure it's more than just you say coming up with about maybe 20 or 30 extra dollars just to buy the product and take it out of the box and stuff like that. But then on the other hand too, that one thing that I kind of enjoy about it, other than doing the shopping, is knowing about is like maybe the different phone models and then the different plans. I guess you different service plans and stuff like that you can kind of explore. And of course with my Skype though, it's like with the Skype is knowing about by being able to have it to where that people can actually see what I'm doing. Of course on Skype it is. and know what the webcam it is. And of course, that depends on, it's like what most people probably think about, you plug your webcam in and know it's that, like it don't work. Like it don't work. Well, guess what? Okay, I ain't got time. Okay, for this troubleshooting. Like you want to know? Like it could be as like what you call like I'm the principal or I'm the boss, and I'm gonna say like this thing better work because I heard that. Like if there's a certain button on the phone that more likely I will push, and more likely maybe 0 because I'm not paying the bill if it says 50, okay? Because I will make do the mathematical fraction of this, knowing like my monthly rate will more likely be 0. But other than that, it's talking about with the phones right here. It's like with the phones is knowing about that. Yeah, well, what are you supposed to do with the phone? Okay, after it's been discontinued. Okay, after it's been discontinued, like with the batteries. I know it's like with the batteries right here. That the batteries, they say the batteries always say warm, but on your hand too, it's just a phone, okay? A phone is a phone, okay? But other than that, you could probably think about with most phones, most of them that you buy, any products or whatever you call it, used to that call family members or whoever, or that call for a job or wherever you are, that more likely you could probably think about that. Really, it's like I guess more likely that the things that you buy at the store, they don't really promise you that it's free, but on your hand too, that of course you say it's promised that it's affordable. And I guess what most people would probably think about with most retail, with most stores, it is that they could probably say that with most of these phones and technology, it is quite a few of them arrange it to where they could be affordable. But that is talking about with Matthew Math, and then talking about was like with the math phone.